Hey, and welcome to Girl Be Free, a podcast designed to help women get unstuck and cultivate the life you want on your terms. I'm Siobhan, your host, and I'm passionate about empowering women to live their best life. Each week, you'll hear pep talks that will inspire and push you to take action so you too can start to be free and live the life you want. You can learn more about me at BeFreeProject.com. Now let's jump into the show. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Girl Be Free podcast. I'm your host, Siobhan, where I'm going to inspire and motivate you to show up for yourself. So this week is a mini-sode. I had some thoughts fresh on my mind this morning. So you're going to get some gems really quick. So grab your notebooks, take notes. But before we get started with the topic for today, I want to remind you that the Show Up For You free 4-day challenge is kicking off Monday, October 22nd. Y'all, this challenge is about to be dope. It's going to be live. I'm so excited. And it's one of my most popular challenges. And so what you can expect is you're going to click the link in the show notes and register. And then for 4 consecutive days, starting October 22nd, every day you're going to get a video from me empowering you and encouraging you to show up for yourself. And then the real fun happens in the Be Free Inner Circle, because that's where you'll get your community support, your accountability that's going to challenge you to show up for yourself. Everyone that signs up for the free challenge during this time frame, you will get a 14-day free trial in the Be Free Inner Circle. And then more good news. I'm going to do a free workshop to challenge you even more the following Monday. So register for the challenge today. Is kicking off on October 22nd. You get a 14-day free trial in the Be Free Inner Circle. You'll have that community support, accountability, and me checking in on you along with the members of the Be Free Inner Circle. And then lastly, you're going to get a free workshop the following week to encourage and inspire you to finish the year strong. So click the link in the show notes to register today, and I cannot wait to see you in there. Now, for our quick mini-sode topic today is titled Unlearning. And I wanted to talk about this really quickly because I'm in this process right now, thinking about every area of my life, my thoughts, my beliefs, my behaviors. What is true for me, right? A lot of the things have been passed down generation through generation, both negative and positive. And I think it's very important that we all do the inner work, check in with ourselves, reflect on our lives, and figure out, how do I want to show up in the world? What makes sense for me? Is this belief that has been passed down through generation true for me, right? Or is this something that I need to question and think about for myself? Things that our parents, our grandparents did, they may not necessarily be true for us today. One example, back in the 50s and 60s or whatever, a lot of our mothers and grandmothers, they stayed home, and they didn't have to work. And then the husband went out and provided, right? And they did all the domestic stuff. Well, in the 21st century, is that really true for you? Or are you passionate about pursuing some other things and you don't want to live that domestic lifestyle? So if that belief is not true for you, then you have to retrain your mind, retrain your brain or whatever, and decide, okay, what do I value? What's important to me? What grandma did way back when, where I'm at in my life, that doesn't make sense. And I'm going to create a new belief for myself. And then as you become more and more free, you're going to want to unlearn and recreate your own beliefs on what makes sense for you. So I'll give you an example. I have been in an unlearning space for a while now. And one thing specifically that I'm working through is my beliefs on money. From the time I can even remember in my family, it's always been this a negative vibe, I guess, around money. And what I mean by that is people will make comments like, oh, don't nobody had no money, or money don't grow from trees, or just having a broke and poverty mindset. Well, for me, that's not my belief. I am working very, very, very hard to leave a legacy for my children. And I do believe people have money. There are lots of people that have money, right? I'm not saying money grows on trees, but I do believe money is an energy and you can attract what you want. So, those beliefs that were passed down through my family, I'm not accepting those as my truth because if I do, they keep me stuck in a negative space, and that is not okay for me. I was having a conversation with my daughter in the car yesterday, and I was telling her, I'm teaching you a lot of things and I'm sharing a lot of things based on what I know and what works in my life. Everything that I'm teaching you, when you get older, you may say, you know what, that worked for mommy, but I'm going to do things a little bit different. And that's okay, right? Like we're all living our own lives and figuring this life out the best that we can. And I think that some of the things, that has been passed down, we have to unlearn those behaviors and again create this new mindset for ourselves. And that is okay. I meet very few people who really challenge their thought process and really dig deep to do the inner work to figure out, okay, this is what I believe about, let's just say, therapy, because that's another thing, in certain communities, especially the Black community, it's very taboo for therapy to even come up, and you just are supposed to get over traumatic things that have happened in your life. But for me, I'm not accepting that belief. I am an advocate for therapy, and y'all know I talk about it all the time. And so I'm not okay with sweeping things under a rug or not having conversations so that I can grow and be healthy mentally and emotionally. So I'm not accepting that belief that we just keep everything in the house and we don't talk about certain things. No, that's not okay for me. So that's what I mean by unlearning, figuring out what beliefs stand true for you and being okay with that, and not feeling like you have to prove yourself or you have to justify what you believe. Your life is your life and you don't owe anyone no explanation on what you're doing and why. So that's just one area that I can point out that I'm in this space of unlearning. And so even when I think about how I'm raising and communicating with my children, again, I want them to be free to speak up, to share how they're feeling. I didn't have that opportunity when I was a kid. It was always stay in a child's place. Most recently, I'll share my daughter, we dyed her hair like a turquoise blue. Number one, she cut her hair off like mine, which is so cute on her. And I told y'all last week, she's an artist, and so she's this creative person and she wanted to dye her hair like this turquoise blue. And I was like, okay, if that's what you want to do, we just have to take care of it. We have to make sure that it's moisturized, bleaching your hair and coloring it can be very harsh. But she said she wanted it, and I said, okay. We went over my grandmother's house to visit one day, and she was like, and my granny, she'll be 89 next month. And she was like, "Is your hair blue?" And my daughter was like, "Yeah." And my granny went on to say, "Oh, okay." She was like, Siobhan and them, I would never let them do anything like that. And I'm like, I know, And so even letting that go, like my grandmother, or my aunts, they wouldn't have let me like explore and figure out like who I was in that kind of way, and even with dyeing my hair. But for me, I'm like, my daughter is a creative. It's something she wants to do. It's her hair. Like, why not? It's just hair. So with that being said, my grandmother didn't approve of it. She still told her she was cute, but she wasn't necessarily okay with it. But again, I'm unlearning a lot of things that were passed down. A lot of things was good. So I'm not going to say like, oh, I didn't learn any good, because there's a lot of things that I do in my life today that my grandmother has taught me. And I stand firm behind. One thing she always tells me, she said, always treat people right? No matter how they treat you, you always be good to others. And that's a belief that I hold on to. Like, I am always going to treat everybody right, no matter what your circumstance. So I just wanted to show you that it can be both positive and negative depending on how you look at it. But I made the decision to say I accept that belief as my own. So it's okay to change. In fact, like I said earlier, you should be changing. But I want to challenge you to take the time to learn you. what feels good to you. Create your own beliefs. Make your own truth for yourself. Accept what others, listen to what others have shared and then see if it makes sense for your life. Because at the end of the day, you are responsible and no one has control over your life but you. And a lot of times, what I'm seeing as a coach is that women are stuck and stagnant in their life due to um, feeling unfulfilled and unhappy and just stagnant in their life. And they're trying to like live this life that someone else has forced on them. Just certain things like just have been passed down year after year after year, and they've accepted someone else's beliefs. Now they're their own, but yet they still feel unhappy. So if you're in that space, I just challenge you to figure out who you are. I'm always talking about getting clear about what you want for your life and how you want to show up, right? And I'm giving you permission to figure that out on your own. So that's what I have for you today. I hope you got something from this. Make sure you connect with me on social media. And that is the Girl Be Free podcast Instagram page. That'll be linked in the show notes. And then also, if you have any questions, any key takeaways, share them on the Instagram page. And then also you can shoot me an email at hello@girlbefree.com. So make sure you sign up and register for the free challenge, Show Up For You. We're starting Monday, October 22nd, so register now. The link is in the show notes. And until next time, girl, be free. Thank you so much for listening. Your support means the world to me. Don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss an episode. And if you're feeling really fancy, go ahead and leave a review. Until next time, be free and live.